Hello everyone, welcome back to yoga teacher training. So this part of the training is about spinning babies. So when I was pregnant, I took a separate course online about spinning babies. These pants, I don't know, they keep slipping down on me. But anyways, that's why you keep seeing me pull up my pants in every video. But anyways, so I did take a spinning babies, and when I took spinning babies, the whole thing about spinning babies is how to move your body during labor to bring baby's head down to where the optimal position is needed for baby to come out into the world. So sometimes baby gets stuck in the pelvis, and moving through labor poses can help bring baby down into the optimal pose, as I said. But what I noticed when I took the course is all the things that the woman in spinning babies did was basically all the yoga poses you do in your prenatal yoga class. So you can incorporate spinning babies, but when you incorporate spinning babies into your yoga class, it's basically explaining a yoga pose in a way that helps baby move down into the pelvis. So um, you can also add like little comments about this when you're teaching yoga class. So the first one I want to talk about is when the mom is starting to go into labor. What you want to happen with the baby is you want the upper canal of your pelvis to be more open, okay? And so creating space for the baby to descend down. And some of the poses that help do that are downward facing dog. So allows the baby to kind of disconnect from the pelvis. So you'll do downward facing dog. So remember, downward facing dog for prenatal women is legs are wide, knees are bent if need be, making space for baby. So this allows the baby to kind of go out of the pelvis. And then when you come down, baby can descend back straight down into the middle part of your pelvis. So maybe baby's kind of crooked and you do downward facing dog to glue baby out, to take baby out, and then let baby configure baby self back down, okay? Another one that helps baby kind of get towards the middle of the pelvis. So this is the beginning of labor. You want baby to descend down the pelvis is goddess pose. So you come into goddess pose, you can move from side to side, really opening the pelvis canal. So thigh bones rotating out allows pelvis to be open, and then baby can come down, okay? Another pose we have is malasana. So you remember how we do the pelvic floor exercises in malasana? Malasana is a good way to open up the pelvic floor. Or I'm sorry, not the pelvic floor. Yes, the pelvic floor, but also the opening of the pelvis so baby can descend. This allows the thigh bones to open. So when thigh bones are open, rotating outward, baby can descend. Another one is Baddha Konasana. Thigh bones out. Open up the pelvis on the top. Okay. Also, when you are, you will tell the moms, like we did in Sukhasana, seated meditation pose, when the moms are sitting, usually if they do have an office job or maybe just walking around the day or just sitting, the tendency is to kind of rock back in the pelvis and round, okay? So what you want is baby to be more forward so baby can go in towards the pelvic bowl. The way you do that is tilting the pelvis forward, leaning more forward, upward, and upright and forward and open. Okay, so that's a position you want during labor. That's a position you want to teach in your prenatal yoga class. So the way you do that is sitting in Sukhasana, bringing the pillow blanket right underneath the sit bones. So then the baby is more forward. Okay, upright and forward and open. All right. Okay, another way to kind of shift baby into the right place for labor is lunges. So that would be high crescent lunge, Anjaneyasana. Okay, so you have one leg forward, one leg back. You can have it so the hips are slightly tilted. So maybe baby is kind of stuck on the right side of the pelvis. You can tilt the pelvis back, or I'm sorry, to the side. And this also opens up this side of the hip flexor so baby can descend down, making more space. So those high crescent lunge, low crescent lunge, lowering the knee down, arms up, is a good one as well. Okay, and then they say to start labor, a lot of women curve walk. You can curve walk with your block. So when you come into Tadasana mountain pose, maybe you have the moms come into their right posture and alignment, and then they step on the block, lifting one leg up, and then back down. This allows the hips to shift. So the hips are shifting up and down so that the baby can rock. You can rock baby into the middle of the pelvis during labor. Okay, let's see what else. Lying on the ground on your side and one leg pumped on a pillow. Okay, this one is a good one. This also allows baby to shimmy into place too. You can have the moms lie on the blanket, and then they're going to lie on their side. They're going to bring the bolster right in front of the left leg, but they're going to swing the right leg on top. Then they're going to kind of roll forward and back. That also helps baby shimmy into the pelvis. Okay, it kind of makes the hips a little crooked so baby can shimmy down. And make sure you do both sides. Those are also labor positions that your doula and nurse will put you in. They also do it with the peanut ball, okay? This is another way to practice labor poses as well. You can have the moms place a bolster in the shins, and then the knees are turning in, okay? They do that with the peanut ball. So why do they do that? So when the thigh bones start to rotate in, okay, so when they practice these poses in yoga, they'll know how to do it right when labor comes. But when thigh bones rotate in, the bottom inlet of your pelvis opens. So say baby is in the middle. Okay, baby's head is in the middle of the pelvis. So when you rotate your thigh bones in, baby can come out, okay? So that is also a pose that you can do during the yoga class. So that one right there with the bolster in the shins, and then coming into all four, turning the thigh bones in and heels out, and you can do cat-cow like this, and then shifting back and forward. That's a great one towards the end of labor where baby is kind of going all the way down to the lower part of the pelvis. That'll help baby come out. Another pose that also helps the moms get some of that rotation in the thigh bones inwards when baby is coming towards the end is coming into hero's pose. So placing a bolster in between the shins and sitting on top of the bolster, having the heels out. That is also another pose that you can do to help the baby come down and have the bottom part of your pelvis inlet open out so the baby can shimmy down. Okay? And you would do those thigh rotating inward poses towards the end when baby is coming down. And oh yes, and the hip openers would open the upper inlet of the pelvis more so baby can shimmy down. So I wanted to add that. Hamstring stretches, cow pose, hip circles on all fours will allow the sacrum to open up. Okay, so the sacrum also moves in and out when baby comes out. So the sacrum will open out when baby comes out towards the end at the bottom part of the pelvis. So hip circles help loosen up the sacrum, okay? Just like we see in the anatomy part of our class, that is the sacrum is like that tailbone part section that looks like a little tail. Hip circles help when we're on all fours doing hip circles. Hamstring stretches, okay, which is like forward fold. Paschimottanasana, which is this one, helps release the sacrum so the sacrum can tilt back. So you want the sacrum to open up when baby comes out. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Yeah, so basically all the yoga poses that we do help the baby get into the right position in the pelvis. So when people say spinning babies, I just think basically doing all the yoga poses in yoga class. So add little tidbits of those and tell them why each pose is important and how you can use it in labor. And that will help the moms, like once they go to your yoga class and labor happens, they'll remember all the yoga poses that they've done. Okay, so those are all the tips for spinning babies and yoga and how that's related and how they can use that during labor.